Most importantly, it's a new day, a new beginning, a new decade, and a new year. So we are here January 1st, and we're going to focus on rehabilitating our foundation. So our series of poses and our class is focused on the root chakra. So everybody, if you will, find yourself centered in the center of your mat. Allow yourself to adjust your hip bones if you need to, allowing yourself to come to a nice seated and lengthened posture. We're going to go ahead and start to inhale and exhale. Taking a few moments to allow ourselves to become aware of the present moment, where we are at this space and time. Feeling that breath circulate and travel through the wheels of life, known as your chakras within you. Allow that breath to travel all the way down to your root chakra, rear pelvic, and genital areolae. Continuing to breathe, taking notice of that feeling. As you continue to breathe, begin to allow your neck to circulate in a slow but steady motion, releasing the neck. Allow your neck to rotate in the opposite direction, still keeping that back lengthened. Coming back to a stationary position. Inhale, allow yourself to gently open your eyes. So we're going to transition ourselves into a downward facing dog. So take a few moments and allow yourself to go ahead and come onto all fours. As you inhale, we're going to allow ourselves to come onto the balls of our feet. Inhaling, pushing back, allowing those sit bones to hit towards the ceiling. Feeling that inhale once again all the way towards your root chakra. Exhale, allow those heels to come all the way down to the ground. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, holding this pose for a series of 3 deep breaths. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, lower those knees all the way back down to your mat, coming into a tabletop position, allowing the top of your feet to become flat on your mat. Making sure those shoulders are lengthened and equal to the hip bones. We're going to come into our cats and cows. So as you inhale, we're going to curl that back up, chin tucked in as though you have a tennis ball in between your chest. And chin, exhale, releasing, sweeping that back down low, arching up, gazing at the top of your mat with your eyes so you can keep your neck aligned. You never want to be looking all the way up. Allow yourself to adjust, become acquainted with the horizon at the top of your mat. Inhale, fluidly allow yourself to come back to your cat. Exhale to your cow. Inhale. Few more. Fluidly moving on your own, allowing yourself to fluidly feel that breath align with each posture. With your next exhale, allow yourself to gently come back to a tabletop position. With our next inhale, we're going to come up into a sunbird. By doing so, you're going to lengthen your right arm out in front, keeping those fingers pointed at the horizon in front of you, as well as lengthening the opposite leg. If you'd like a little bit of a challenge, you can flatten that foot. Imagine yourself being braced against the wall, pushing back and reaching forward for our sunbird. Exhale and allowing it to fall gracefully with core control. Inhaling, right foot and right arm up. Hold that breath. Exhale and release. Inhale, opposite side. Lengthening at the top of the ground as you hold that breath in, core control. Exhale, release. Gently coming all the way back down. Inhale, opposite side. Taking your time and taking a deep cleansing breath whenever you feel is appropriate. Holding that breath. Flat foot. Lengthening at the crown of the head. Exhale, come all the way down with control of the core. Last time on each side, take a nice deep inhale, lengthening that left foot, right arm out. Holding that breath, core control. Exhale, releasing. Making sure at all times that your hands are right below your shoulders. Last side. Inhale, right leg out, left arm out, coming into your sunbird. Holding that breath, core control. Exhale, release with grace. Again, transition, allowing yourself to get a little bit more of a fluid movement within the body. Adjusting this out yourself. Shoulders hip length apart. Inhaling, coming on the balls of your toes. Reaching back, hip bones up towards the ceiling. Coming into your downward facing dog. Exhale, bring those heels down to the mat. Inhale, we're going to walk those feet to our hands, hands to the feet, finding ourselves in a forward fold. As you inhale, you're going to bend those knees, come all the way up into an upward salute. Exhale, falling and hinging at the hips, finding yourself in a forward fold. Inhale, come up to a half lift, hands right below the knees, lengthening at the crown of the head. Visualizing yourself looking at the horizon at the top of your mat. Keeping that neck aligned with the spine, holding that breath. Exhale as you fall forward, hinging at the hips once more. Inhale, bend those knees, coming all the way up for an upward salute. Take a nice deep cleansing breath, and with your next inhale, we're going to bring back that right foot. Allowing ourselves, keeping it at a 45-degree angle. Getting ready to come into our triangle pose. Gently extending those hands at a 3 and 9 o'clock position. As you gently tilt forward, exhale and come all the way down, allowing that hand to be placed on the shin. Or, if you'd like a little bit of a challenge, you can place it on your mat. And if you have a block nearby, you can grab that block, place it on the block. Lengthening that right arm up towards the ceiling and sinking back into your hips, allowing them to be open and wide. Inhaling and exhale. With your next inhale, allow yourself to come all the way back up. Exhale, allow those hands to fall. We're going to transition and challenge ourselves coming into a half moon pose. So what I like to do is if you have your mat, your block, allow it to come up a little closer to the top of your mat. So we're going to transition ourselves from our triangle. So allow yourself to come back to your triangle pose. We're gonna walk that hand out a little bit, or walk that block out a little bit. We're gonna transition and lift all of our weight as we hinge that left knee up. Woo! Into the right palm. Keeping those hip flexors open. Exhaling as you bring down that right palm, right foot, allowing yourself to come back to a forward fold. Inhaling, coming all the way up to an upward salute. Exhale as you allow those palms to fall down to your mat. Stepping back into a downward facing dog. Hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, heels down to the mat. Inhale, walk those hands and feet, allowing them to come back together. Finding yourself in a forward fold. Bend those knees and reach all the way up for an upward salute. Exhale, hinging at the hips, releasing that tension in the lower back as you fall forward. Inhale, half lift, nice lengthened back. Eyes looking at the top of the horizon of your mat. Exhale as you fall forward. Inhale, coming up into an upward salute. Exhale, allowing those hands to fall. Inhale, bringing that left foot back. Coming into your triangle pose. As you inhale, allow yourself to tilt yourself forward. 3 and 9 o'clock position with your hands. Exhale, allowing that hand to fall down to your mat. Shin or block. Left arm all the way up towards the ceiling, gazing gently over your left shoulder. Lengthening that, getting ready to come into your half moon pose. So either gently, bringing that block out a little bit further, preparing yourself. Inhale, pressing up into the right foot, hinging that left knee, and allowing yourself to come all the way up into your half moon. Hip flexors are open and wide, facing the wall in front of you. All of your weight is onto the right foot and right palm. Exhale, bringing that hand down, and left foot coming down to your mat. Finding yourself into a forward fold, placing those hands onto your mat, stepping back into a downward facing dog as you inhale. Exhale, heels to mat. Inhale, gently come forward for a plank. Exhale, knees sinking back into child's pose. Taking a few moments to just allow yourself to gain that breath, to allow yourself to become rebalanced and realigned. Focusing back on your root chakra, the foundation, the safety, the security that you desire and that you hold within. Focus on the intention and the affirmation of I am as you still allow yourself to sink back into your child's pose, sinking back deeper into those hip bones, extending those arms out in front of you, and keeping that forehead down to the mat. Taking a few more moments as you breathe. Inhale, and allow yourself to come up onto all fours. We're going to go ahead and transition into some standing postures. So if you will, please listen to the guide of my voice. Allow us to come up onto the balls of our feet. As you inhale, pressing back into a downward facing dog. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, bring those hands and feet together. Align top of the mat, middle of the mat. Inhale, bending those knees and reaching all the way up towards an upward salute, bringing those palms together, bringing them down to heart center as you exhale and sinking into your chair. Allowing yourself to take a few deep breaths as you stay within this this pose. If you'd like a little bit of a challenge, you can always come up onto the balls of your feet. Exhale, release, and allow yourself to gently come into a forward fold. Allow those arms to dangle in front of you, knees gently bent as you release all that tension that's held within that lower back between the sacral and the root chakra. Inhale, gently bending those knees, bringing those arms all the way up towards an upward salute. Hands, palms facing each other. Exhale, bringing them down to heart center as you sink into your chair. Once again, if you want to challenge, balls of your feet with your next inhale as you gain this pose with 3 deep breaths. Exhale, falling forward, allowing yourself to hinge at the hips. Dangle those arms and take a few moments to release that tension again, lying between the sacral and the root. Inhale, coming all the way up, bending the knees, palms facing each other, gently coming back into an upward salute. Exhale, allow those hands to fall to your sides. As you inhale, bring that back, that right foot, 45-degree angle, hip flexors in front of you. Exhaling, hinging that left knee, coming into your warrior one. Taking a few deep breaths. Making sure you can see the top of your toes. Whenever you're ready, you can allow yourself to gently open up, coming into a warrior two. Hips going from front to the side wall. Typically your right wall is where you'll be gazing. Arms at 3 and 9 o'clock position. Gently allow yourself to gaze over the left hand. With your next inhale, bring those hands out in front of you. Allow those hip bones to sit back, gently bending forward, coming into a warrior two variation. Exhale, allow those hands to fall and allow your left leg to be lengthened. You're going to gently allow that left foot to come to a complete 90-degree angle, becoming aligned with that right foot. Getting ready to come into our goddess pose. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, sinking down. Hands to our sides. We want to make sure that back is lengthened. So if anything, what I always like to do is gently point that pelvic forward. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale as you lengthen both of those legs. Allow your feet to transition almost as though you're coming back into a warrior one. Step off with that right foot. Allow yourself to come back to mountain. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale as you fall forward, hinging at the hips, placing those hands all the way down and stepping back into downward facing dog. Exhale, heels to the mat. Inhale, bringing those knees down, and exhale, sinking back to child's pose. Inhale, come up onto all fours, lining yourself, coming onto the balls of your feet. Next inhale, coming up into a downward facing dog. Exhale, heels to the mat. Inhale, walk those hands and feet together, getting ready to transition everything on the opposite side. Inhale, bending at the knees, coming all the way up towards an upward salute. Palms coming together. Exhale as you sink down into your chair. Balls of your feet for a little bit of challenge. at the hips, falling forward, dangling those arms once again, releasing the tension within our hips and lower back. Focusing on the affirmation, I am, followed by your intention. I am powerful. I am courageous. I am smart. I am change. Inhale, bending those knees, coming all the way up. Hands up above the head, palms facing each other. Exhale, sinking back into that chair. Exhale, allow yourself to hinge at the hips, coming and falling forward, dangling those arms. Inhale, bending the knees, coming up toward upward salute. Exhale as you release those hands to your side. Inhale, bringing back that left foot, allowing it to come to a 45-degree angle. Exhale, allowing that right knee to hinge over the ankle. Hips in front of you, arms lengthened or at heart center, or placed on your hip as you sink into your warrior one, feeling the strength and duration, the safety, the security that lies within your root. Feel the energy with each inhale. Whenever you're ready, tilt those hips and open up to the wall to the left of you, lengthening those arms to a 3 and 9 o'clock position, gently gazing over the right middle finger. Still keeping that knee and ankle aligned, being able to see your toes. Inhale, bring those arms out in front of you, sinking back into your hips, still keeping the warrior two pose, coming into a warrior two variation. Exhale, release and lengthen that leg. Allow that right foot to completely rotate to a 90-degree angle, aligning the right and left foot. Getting ready to come into our goddess. Inhale, bringing those hands all the way up. Exhale, coming into a squat-like position, allowing those hands to be out towards your sides, tilting that pelvic bone in, and allowing that back to lengthen. Exhale, release, and fall to a forward fold. You can allow yourself to heel toe, or you can gently come back into warrior two, stepping up, coming back to your mountain pose. We're going to begin to allow ourselves to cool down, so bring those arms all the way up, palms facing each other. Exhale as you fall forward, bringing those palms to the mat. Inhale, stepping back into a downward facing dog. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees. Sinking all the way back into your child's pose. Inhale, coming up onto all fours. We're going to gently swipe those knees to the left or to the right and allow yourself to sink back onto that hip bone. Transitioning yourself into a seated posture. Getting ready to do some cool down poses. Allow yourself to become adjusted to the center of your mat. Feet all the way down to the end of your mat. Inhale. We're going to come into our staff pose. Holding these poses for about 10 breaths. Allowing ourselves to begin to cool down, release, allow the mind, body, and spirit to just come to an ease point. So we're going to inhale, place those palms down into our mat, and as we breathe and stay within this pose, we're going to flatten those feet out in front of us, palms deeply submerged into our mat, lengthening the spine and feeling as though there is a string pulling you at the crown of your head, but you're deeply submerged, pulling against. Inhale, lengthen, release those shoulders, and begin to breathe. 10 deep breaths. release. Allow those arms to become wiggly. We're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, and as we exhale, we're going to use all of our core to allow us to come all the way down to our mat, coming into a corpse-like pose. So take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, coming all the way down. Take a nice deep cleansing breath. Inhale, bringing those knees to your chest. Gently lifting them, allowing those arms to be placed right underneath the knees. Gently rocking back and forth. 10 deep breaths. Providing a massage to the root. Releasing tension. Allowing yourself to come back to a stationary position, lengthening and separating those arms. Inhale as you lengthen that right foot, bringing it all the way down to the mat as you exhale. Inhaling, bringing that knee a little closer to the chest, extending the shin, and allowing your foot to be placed right within your toe. Taking a few deep breaths, and if you like a little bit of a challenge to really lengthen that right leg, imagine yourself being braced against a wall, keeping that flat foot aligned with the wall. Exhale as you release that left leg, bringing it all the way back down to the mat with core control. Inhaling, bringing up that right knee to the chest, placing your fingers in between the toe, bringing it down towards the chest, shin straightened. Imagining that left foot being braced against a wall. 10 deep breaths as you hold this pose, and if you need to, you can allow that right hand to be placed within the inside of your foot, right where your arch is. Left hand out to the side, palm facing down to the ground for a little bit more of a balance. A stronger core and foundation is what you'll find. Continuing to breathe. Nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, release and allow that left foot to come all the way down to your mat. Take a nice deep cleansing breath. Inhaling, bringing up that left knee, allowing that right palm to be placed on the outside of the left thigh. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to come to our lying spine twist. So bring that left knee, over to the right side, extending that left arm out to the side, keeping both shoulders on the mat and allowing yourself to gently gaze over your left shoulder. Deep breaths. As you have finished, inhale, bring your knee back to your chest, lengthening that right arm. Exhale, lengthening that leg out and down. Inhale, right knee up to the chest. Left hand palm on the outside of the right thigh, bringing it over to the left side for lying supine twist. Both shoulders on your mat, lengthening that right arm out and gently gazing over the right hand. finish that last breath. Exhale, lengthen that right leg, bringing it all the way down with core control. Bringing both of those hands out to your side, coming into your corpse, your Shavasana. Taking a few moments to meditate, pondering back onto that intention, that affirmation. Still breathing, nice and slow. And as you exhale, begin to release muscle. Sinking into your mat. Allow yourself to wiggle those toes and fingers. Inhaling as you stretch. Exhale as you release. Allowing yourself to roll over to the left and right position, coming into your fetal pose. Allowing your head to be cradled into your elbow. Bringing that opposite arm in front of your chest, palm down to the ground. Inhale and exhale, taking a few more deep breaths. Inhale as you gently allow yourself to come back up to a seated position. Bringing those hands to heart center. May the good within me shine within you. Namaste. Thank you all for tuning in. Please give me your feedback, constructive criticism as I am growing